welcome to episode 4 of season 2 of Everything Products with Ehizode podcast. So far, we've had 3 amazing product managers on the show. We had Oyinko Solami, we had Divine Ebuna from One Health, we had Temi Tayo, Temi Tayo of Bumper, the product manager of Bumper, and we have here today Yejide. Smile for the camera. We have Yejide of Sycamore.ng. She's the product manager at Sycamore.ng. I am so excited to have Yejide here on the show. Yejide, are you excited?
Super excited myself. So I'm very excited.
All right. Okay. Amazing. So good to have you. I'm looking forward to having the session with you. So, first of all, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Just an introduction, your background, maybe going to your childhood a little bit.
Actually.
So we want to see how all of that relates to your decision so far and then your decision into becoming a product manager. So yeah, just let us know a little bit about you.
Okay, then. So my name is Yejide Kuyoro, and I studied accounting at the University of Lagos. That's my background. And while in school, I was working roles. And
You're working roles while in school.
Working roles.
I hear hustler.
Very interesting. But I mean, at the start of studies, right, I was entirely focused on my study. Like, I was so focused on it. And I'm so grateful for that aspect of me, right? But along the way, I realized that, that wasn't for me. It got to a point where I was very exhausted. And that was when I started working roles. I started pushing for myself to leverage on whatever opportunity that was available to me, yeah. And I believe that was it. And one of my inspiration was the fact that I'm the firstborn child. I don't know if that's it.
Girl,
that's
I mean, I'm the firstborn. Yeah, we are kind of like born hustlers.
The pressure was too much, so I had to sort of set a good example for the rest of my other siblings. But that aside, though, nothing is ever enough. I had to do well for myself, and I believe that's why I'm here now. That's where I'm here now.
So one of my friends said something today. He said he was putting together a slide where he was supposed to share his story and how he like transitioned to like he codes and so how he got to where he is now.
Yeah.
And then he reflected and he discovered that he doesn't even remember.
So much story.
Yeah, so there's like so much story. Sometimes you don't even remember all the details that brought you up to here. That's why we talk about like journaling, how it's important to like journal. So about product management, you said you studied accounting.
Yeah, I did.
Accounting to product management.
Yeah.
How far?
So while I was in school, right, there are a couple of roles I worked in that, no jokes, in that moment, the kind of gratification and happiness that it gave me in that moment, I loved it. But I believe that exposure earlier on sort of set my mind, and I realized that I believe I love to be in a creative space. I don't like to do things over and over again. I don't like repetition. I like to be in a space where execution happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that was how I got myself into product management. And I mean, accounting is not entirely far from that. I started doing project management even while I was juggling school, right? I started doing project management, hosting events, organizing events, coordinating events. I mean, all of that cascaded into that, really. So yeah.
Yeah, so what's the story? How did you move from accounting to product management?
So I believe I started with product design. But I'm not entirely creative person, an artistic person. I believe that's what it is, not a creative person. I'm not entirely an artistic person. I started with that. And one thing that got me into product management is I wasn't even aware it was product management. That's what's interesting about it. So there was this event I worked for. I coordinated the event, and one of the founders of the event saw the kind of work I did, and she introduced me to someone. And the person wanted to build a solution that was focused on, I believe, the accounting industry and tax in particular, right? And that's an industry that I'm familiar with. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, that's beautiful. What would I be doing? It was when I got to hear about what it was, I realized, oh, this is what I will be doing. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's beautiful. I didn't know what product management was then. I'm not even joking. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
All I knew was, project management. I know how to organize events, and that was it. That was all I knew, yeah? So even though it did not scale, right? I mean, there were a lot of things I was doing. Just in retrospect, there were a lot of things I was doing that related to product management now, and I was like, I believe that was beautiful, and that was how my journey started into product management. And I started digging deep, and that was when I got myself into product design. Started digging deep. That was when that was when I got a role as a software quality assurance. So even at the firm I work in, right, I double up and I double up on so many roles. It's software quality assurance. It's not entirely far from the product management I do. I'm a Scrum Master. I mean, still at the intersection of that. So I mean, it's really beautiful how I don't think I've said this story before. But it's really beautiful.
Right.
Even though there are times where you sit down and you reflect that you could. I mean, you could do better though. But nah. I mean, I'm so grateful for my journey, and I'm grateful for where I made it to.
Yeah, yeah. So I hear you. I hear that you have a lot of experiences. From what I hear, you moved from accounting to doing project management. From there, you moved on to do product design, and then went on to do software quality assurance, and then you're a Scrum Master, and then you're a product. Yeah, yeah, but so this is not far from the experiences of actual like product managers. I think product managers can come from a range of like diverse background,
Yeah.
where they like start from where they are doing what they should do and just basically taking up using their skills and making sure that the things that they work on gets better. I think that is the mindset of a product manager. It's like you're looking at it from all aspects, that on all aspects, let this product shall not fail. Let this thing not fail. And then you're doing all the things possible, right, to make sure the product doesn't fail. That's what it means to be a product manager anywhere, right? So it doesn't actually have to wait till you bear the title product manager. Are you working on a project? Are you working on something, right?
Yes.
If you are doing everything it takes possible to make sure that that product does not fail, the project does not fail, then you have the mindset of a product manager, and then you can continue to there from there, like take your transferable skills and continue to build up from there to actually get a product management role, an actual product management role. So you don't have to like wait. You can be so many
Out about the title. Don't be freaked out about the title. The mindset is what matters, like you said. If you are doing what product managers do, when you get that title, I bet you be grateful.
So what I tell people who ask me, I don't have a product management experience, how do I position my CV? I normally tell them, look very well. I'm very certain that at least you're doing bad as bad one thing that a product manager does. So just go through what product managers do every day, what their roles are, what their responsibilities are. Go through it. Go through what you're doing. Think about it. I'm sure you're doing one thing, and then you can emphasize on those things and use it to build up your CV, use to build up your experience. And those skills are transferable skills that you can transfer into a real product management role, like, and get a job. So how has it been for you, product management? How has it been so far?
You know that term they call any work. That's what it is. But yeah, I would say it's been fulfilling, right? Even though the Nigerian ecosystem is very interesting, but it has been fulfilling in its own way, yeah? And I would say product management to me, it's not even to me, what I do. You realize that there are times where the entire software development process, there are times where we are thinking about a product. A lot of people are pulling ideas together. A lot of people are presenting ideas. We have the designers doing the lo-fi, hi-fi, and all of that. And we have the engineers creating endpoints or engineering things. We have the front-end consuming designs and taking the endpoints, consuming the endpoints as well. I mean, doing all of those things. I mean, very interesting. And it's quite interesting how you put all of these things together, how you manage people, how you try to sort of manage stakeholders, just ensure stakeholders that everybody is on board and everybody aligns at the same time. It's very interesting because it's very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting. And I would say it's beautiful because at the end of the day, when the product launches, right, you cannot always launch a perfect product, should be told, because at the end of the day, when we put out products, we recently launched a feature called Loan Friends Widgets on my team. And no jokes, I tested this end to end. I was like, I tested this end to end. And when it finally got to production, it's like, damn, that was when my line manager now told me, Yejide, did you consider this use case? And I was like, I'm not joking. I was like, But I just said, you know what? Sincerely, when it comes to building product, it's very fulfilling, right? The entire energy that comes with having to just build product, having to ship, when you finally launch, having to, so many fires, having to just put up fires. Is it adrenaline they call it? It's there though, but I just want to say that don't let that sort of pull you down, because that it comes with, there are so many highs, and the highs of these very interesting. If you're an energy person, it's very interesting. And the lows are there too, but I bet you I would say the highs truly outweigh the lows. It does outweigh it.
Yeah.
It does outweigh. I don't know if I'm talking too much. Hopefully I'm not talking too much. I tend to talk
Really? I'm not talking too much. So I was going to ask you, right? I was going to ask you what you guys do at Sycamore, but before we get there, since you're already talking about highs and lows, right?
Yeah.
What would you say has been the biggest challenge for you being a product manager maybe at the start of your career up until now?
I would say earlier on, right, when I got into it, it had to be with. So, I came from an environment, like I said, I did project management. So I came from an environment where it was about enforcement. You tell someone, oh, this is what you need to do, and that was it. Like, fine, we are all on the same page. We need to do it. We need to execute it. Well, it's quite different because everybody is I wouldn't say everybody is sensitive, but you just have to treat people with empathy, with a little bit of. When I say treat people with empathy, I bet you this one is a little bit of sensitivity, because everybody is sensitive, particularly the engineers, the designers as well, right? You testing something and you see a bug and you say, your product's not working. Well, the feature you created is not working. That's not the best way to present it. So I sort of had to learn that, because I usually just put it as it is. It's not working, but I realized that there's a better way to communicate. There's a better way to communicate that. There's a better way to present that. Because at the back of my mind, I just felt we are on the same team. Our mess is our mess. We are seeing our mess together. So what's up? How else should I package the mess that you see? But I realized that it was very important I did that. And no jokes. I believe I loved how far I've grown when it comes to that. Because I did get a lot of feedback, people telling me that I'm a fiery madam. But that was not my intention. That wasn't that wasn't it at all. But yeah, I'm so grateful for my growth in that.
Yeah. I think that one thing I also learned early in my career as well is communication, right? I learned to communicate better. I learned to be diplomatic, be empathetic.
Diplomatic.
Yes, it's very, very important. At all levels of stakeholder that I am managing. Even the high level, even the low level, even like your subordinates, engineers, designers, even your CEO. You have to be very diplomatic with the way that you communicate with them. Sometimes you have to go back. Sometimes I will have to rephrase with ChatGPT. ChatGPT, this is what I want to say. But say it in a nice way. And then he helps me rephrase it, and then I copy and paste on Slack or wherever. So because it's very, very important. Your message is important. But how you communicate the message is also as important as the message itself. Yeah. So it's very, very important. Yeah. So let's go to Sycamore. What do you do at Sycamore? What does Sycamore do? And what is your own role here there at Sycamore?
Okay, so Sycamore is a peer-to-peer lending company. So what we do is we take investments, we give loans to businesses, salary earners, MSMEs. I believe that's what they are called. And there's also an aspect of Sycamore that has to do with peer-to-peer lending. So having to lend with friends, the entire relationship, how the relationship goes down the drain from having to give your friends money and they never give you back. So we sort of created a solution around that. And that has been pretty interesting. We shipped a loan friends widget for the web. We shipped that last week. Yeah. Or this week, yeah. This week is still going on. We shipped that this week. And it has been pretty interesting. And what I do at Sycamore, I started off as a software quality assurance with the intent to sort of learn under the product person, yeah? And yeah, so that's what I do. I do software quality assurance. I double up as the Scrum Master. And the reason why I do Scrum role is because I was the one that introduced the entire process of, one thing about fintechs, everything is everywhere. It's not so organized.
Yeah.
You are in a very beautiful, what do they call it?
They are shading our Nigerian fintechs. Let them not clash you. Let them not clash you.
It's a very beautiful mess. And you get to learn. I'm not even joking. You get to learn. There's so much you just get to learn. Everything, because it's more like, what do they call these things that rule? is it roller? Is it what?
Roller coaster.
Yeah, you're kind of in that. So it's very beautiful, right? Because there was really no structure. Everything was disorganized. But I mean, I'm so grateful that we've grown as a team, and yeah, particularly the tech team. Yeah, we've grown as a team, and there are structures being put in place. And part of the structure I put was we having to track our task. And I believe that has sort of helped us when it comes to delivering on time. It has improved that significantly, yeah. And yeah, it's good to know that we look better in front of the management. But that aside, yes. And also product management. So there's this feature that's called More Money, but we sort of put that on pause. I was the product manager on that, and it's the idea of More Money is to cater to the informal sector of the economy. So these are folks that they don't have bank statement to take to the bank and to access credits or loans, yeah. And Sycamore decided to create an avenue for them where they are able to access loans. So the entire More Money product was meant for that. But operationally, we had to put that on pause. But yeah, so that's simply what I do. Whatever feature it is, whatever product, whatever innovative idea it is. So the entire vision of Sycamore is just to ensure that they deliver financial services. They want to be an household name in Africa. And whatever it takes to do that, they do it. So yeah.
I think the idea of loans and credits is very, very dynamic in Nigeria, right? That's a very interesting sector to build. I think because of the kind of people that we are, we are not. It's not very, very straightforward to like get credits, and it's not like when you're abroad and the credit system, everything is like very organized. It's very pretty to like know who's owing who and all of that. So how has it been? What do you think? How has the response been so far? In terms of like people being open to getting credits, being open to getting loans, and also what has been the biggest challenge in terms of like being able to get the loan, like refunds back, the interest rates and all of those things. I just like want to get Ghana how receptive people in Nigeria really are to such things.
Loans. Well, that's a very good question because Sycamore started from the worksheet. You know this thing where they say I believe I saw a tweet that says if your product doesn't sell on worksheet, forget it. It won't sell on any digital product. It won't sell on it, and that's the truth. So they started off as that before they then started and bringing in technology into it, bringing innovation into it. So already it's one thing about, and I believe that loans will always sell itself, particularly in this part of the world, because there is the level of the distribution of wealth in this country is very, very, very porous. Yeah, we see it. The top 1% have everything, and the other 99% have nothing to show for. So loans will always sell itself. But I believe one challenge that I've observed is with the peer-to-peer lending, where I said, why would you have to allow your friendship or your friendships with family or friends go down the drain by giving them money and when they don't give you back? I believe it's really been that has raised cyber, because a lot of people will say, why would I have to tell a family? Why would I have to tell a friend to download a app because I want to give them money? So I would say that we'll see how it goes in the market. We'll see how people take it. But that has been comments we've heard so far. People saying like, why should I have to tell my family somehow? And they don't trust me. But you get me, yeah. So I would say in the aspect of the loans we give salary earners, the loans, I mean, and that's the due diligence we do. Salary earners, you certainly have a way to pay it back. Businesses, of course, your statements, your account statements, we can see that you have a way to pay it back. So those ones usually just sell itself. But the peer-to-peer, family, friends, having to collect loans from another one, but we'll see how it goes in the markets. People are interesting individuals. I mean, and you know, one thing about customers is they really don't know what they want until you give it to them.
Sure. So what are your processes like in terms of like, you were mentioning task tracking, how that has improved efficiency and also puts your team in the very great light in terms of like stakeholder. So what are your processes like? What are the things that you've put in place to make sure that your team works very, very efficiently and properly as well?
So we run an agile approach, right? So even though we get to hear something that, we'll build this at the beginning of the sprint. Oh, forget it. It might not turn out like that. Along the way, we have stakeholders, we have the management that will say, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that, see what's happening in the market, we need to do this. So it's, a very dynamic, a very dynamic process, because we just build based on what we are seeing. But then one of the ways we sort of try to put down our processes and ensure that everybody is on the same page is, we have a Kanban board, like I said. Maybe so my line manager goes to a call, or we engage with the stakeholders, or we engage with the management, and we get to hear, oh, this is what we need to do for the month. These are our goals for the month. From those goals, we break that down into tasks. We sit down as a team and we hear, oh, these are our goals. I believe this is, so in order to achieve this goal, this is what we need to do. Oh, let's break down what we need to do. Let's break that down into tasks for everybody, every single person on the team, so that we would know this is what you are doing as a design person. This is what you are doing as a back-end person. This is what you are doing as a front-end person. And this is what you are doing as a product person.
Yeah.
So, all of this is broken down, and we place it on the Kanban board. And I wouldn't say we micromanage people. We don't micromanage the team. I don't micromanage them, because we all have the sense of we need to deliver. And how do we enforce that? We usually have stand-ups, but our stand-ups are not every day, right? There was a point where it was every day, but we realized that we are really moving as a team, and sometimes it sort of gets in the way of the work, because energy, adrenaline is high. And
We just want to go walk.
we just want to go. We just want to work.
Must be nice.
Yeah. We just want to walk. We just want to go. So yeah, so there are times where we do that like every 2 days. So three times in a week is when we do our stand-ups. Yeah. So we reflect. So this is what you've done so far, based on what you said you will do for this sprint. This is what you've done so far. This is what you are doing at the moment, and this is what you intend to do. And if there are any blockers you faced with you, let us know. Let's see whether we can handle it on the call, or let's see whether we can take it out of the call for someone to sort of sort that out. So yeah, that has sort of been the process. Yeah. And communication too. So our communication channel, we use Slack, we use Google Chats. If there is any concern any of the engineers has, or any question any of the design person has, you can definitely reach out to the product person. Do you need clarity? Reach out to us, and all of that. So yeah.
Amazing. Sounds interesting. So you've mentioned how things come up in the middle of the year. Maybe your stakeholders say, oh, this is our direction, and all of those things. I think what I normally would think is that we have to validate those ideas first of all before we start to implement them. So what's your idea validation processes like, right? How do you do customer discovery and try to find out if this is what we should work on, or we should, and if those are the things, there are two questions, right? How do you do your idea validation and customer discovery? And when you find out that, okay, this thing that the stakeholder has said we should work on, I don't think we should work on it, right? So how do you communicate that to the stakeholders? Two things.
I'm emotional. I'm very emotional now. Yeah. At the Dive conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a question I won, because Dive conference was where we met.
Yeah.
And
you really asked really valid questions. Yeah. I was listening to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, what should I do?
Thank you so much. So that's in my journey, right? I would say that's one aspect that I'm also bothered about. I'm like, why exactly do stakeholders bring something to us and you just have to just put it to action? You just have to get them. You just have to satisfy them. And that was on my mind. And I believe, it was good that it was addressed. And I have started putting that into action. And what was said was that if the stakeholders or the top management bring in an idea to you, how do you validate it? Go and gather data, present it to them. Are the customers, because at the end of the day, you are building for the customers. Are the customers going to take it or not? If they won't take it, why move on? Why move on with the idea?
So you try to convince them.
Yeah, you try to present data to them, but I heard that there are times where data doesn't do the talking. We're in a very
you heard all.
I heard data doesn't do the talking. So you might just have to go with what the management says or what the stakeholders.
Yeah. So how do you gather your data?
Yeah. So usually we push out forms, Google Forms. Gathering data is, we push out Google Forms. And there are times that's prior to when we launch or when we are in the product discovery stage. Yeah. Push out Google Forms, try to gather feedback. or you just go to gatherings and start asking questions. That's what I tend to do. I just go to gatherings.
How responsive are people to your questions when you like go to gatherings and even to the Google Forms? I know that sometimes when I send out Google Forms, I might be there may be 100 people in that group. I only 2 people will answer the Google Form. So I want to get your magic. How do you do it?
So there's this community I'm part of. I mean, this one is just community of women, right? I tend to push my Google Forms to that direction. But I mean, I do understand when it comes to Google Forms, people are not responsive. But I'm a very interesting person. I'm very playful. That's what I would say. I'm very playful. I'm very charming. I come off charming to people. So usually when I'm in gatherings or I'm in groups, I just throw it. This is subtly with Twitter. I tend to use it on Twitter. I just put out questions, my thoughts. Twitter is like my journal. Let me just tell you, journal to me.
I really admire you guys that have mind to share on Twitter. I don't share on Twitter. I don't share on Twitter because I don't want anybody to sub me or drag me.
That one is there too. That one is there too. So yeah, that's what I tend.
So you ask questions.
I ask questions.
Twitter, put out polls.
Put out polls. I mean, there are times I'll be in the boat ride and I'll just strike a conversation with the boat rider. I'll start talking. I mean, every means is a means. Sometimes I'll be in the public bus.
For real.
Every means is a way.
For real.
It's a means rather. There are times I'll be in the public bus and I'll just throw a question. It's very important to just leverage whatever gathering you're at.
Yeah. So it brings me back to what the first person who shared on like the first episode of the podcast on what she mentioned on like product discovery, customer research. And she mentioned that it doesn't have to be like a simulated thing where you call the customer and then you guys are doing like one-on-one interview.
Call it textbook approach. It doesn't have to be textbook.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be textbook approach. That's it. It could be something where it's like more natural. Maybe you're just probably asking questions. Oh, so what will you do now?
And that kind of thing. Yeah, that's best of
exactly.
They tell you as it is.
Exactly.
Yes, I feel.
Yeah. So it's best to be exactly what she said, and which is what you're saying again. Right. Very, 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 very important like that. Yeah. So throughout your paths, how did you get mentorships? Like, right? You know that's very important. And some people, I know some right now, yeah, Agba now. So people are reaching out to you, telling you, please, I want to be a product manager. Please help me. What will I do? I want to shadow you. Those kind of things, right? So, but how did you do it? How did you get the right mentorships when you were growing, right? Because mentors are very, very busy as well. So, how did you leverage your relationship with them? What exactly did you do to like build like great mentorships? I know they were instrumental to your growth. Yeah. If they were not, you can share also that hello, you do hello.
No, don't be alone, man. Don't be alone. There are times where you need to be alone, where you need to recalibrate. You need to reflect on your life. There are times where you need that, but nah. I'll take mine started when I was in uni, right? And that was how I even got into event management, project coordination, product management. The person that I told you introduced me to someone. That was her. I mean, that was her. And what happened? I believe I sent her a text. I sent her a text on LinkedIn, right? And I told she put out something. She said she wanted to host an event in uni, right? And I told her, oh, I'm available. I'm happy to coordinate it for you. And that was how we started talking. That was how we got it. That was how she started calling me. Oh, Yejide, we need to do this. Oh, Yejide, what do you think about this? Yejide, what do you think about that? So one thing about mentorship is, I mean, this world we are in, right? You need to be able to give value for it to take value. You can't come and be a pest to someone. It's very important. You need to make yourself stand out. You can't come and you have to be valuable to someone for them to give you their time, which is also valuable to them. So yeah, so that's one way I did. Even though she's not entirely on the part of product management, right? She's someone that she did management, someone that did economics, someone that has worked in top firms. Yeah. Our advice was very instrumental. When it came to my self-development, when it came to my career development. She helped me with with the confidence to go on this path. Because there was a point I was like, let me just do what I studied in uni. I thought about it now. I'm young, let me explore.
Let me
explore. And she gave me the confidence to do that. And sincerely, I wouldn't lie to you. It's very important you have people that are on top, so put you through that path. nonetheless, it's also very important you have people that are your peers.
Cheers.
Because there's this community I belong to. They call it the K Circle, Como Circle, right? Community of women in their 20s trying to figure out life. And I believe it was, the owner of the community, she went into product management. This is someone that studied law, right? She studied law, and she pivoted into product management. And I believe her journey gave me, it also
Courage.
complemented, it also gave me the courage as well. So even talking to her, chatting with her, asking her about, what happened? What did she do? What did she have to what did she have to munch on in terms of knowledge? What did she have to engage in terms of that gave her that experience till she landed the role she landed in the UK? What did she do? I was like, oh wow, that's beautiful. So aside from people on top, it's also very important you also relate with your peers, because I bet you that's
fair mentorship.
that's also good mentorship. That one is good mentorship, because these ones are very eager, very enthusiastic,
and they're your level. So basically, the things that you're about to experience, it's not been long they left it. So
absolutely.
the knowledge is fresh. They can even hold your hand. But if you're like looking at those guys are very busy. Those guys don't stop. They don't have your time.
Very, very busy.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, leverage on communities that are very valuable. If you want to connect with someone that you want for them to mentor you, whether it's on top, whether it's your peer, be willing to offer value to them. Even the person that's my peer, I was the operations person in the community at some point. Be willing to offer value to them. It's very important, because when you give them value, I bet you these people will be so happy to.
Yeah, they're even feeling indebted to you.
Yeah, they'll be very happy to do that.
Thank you so much, Yejide. It was such an awesome session. All right.
Thank you. Well, we done.
Yeah. So we've come to the end of this episode. We had Yejide here. Yejide from Sycamore.ng. Yejide was such an awesome personality here. She shared everything that you needed to know about her journey and how you can also use that in your own personal journey as well. So if you haven't listened to the previous episode, make sure you catch it. Don't miss it. And then look forward to the next episode. See you. Bye.
Bye.